This is a tutorial on using the community-wide benchmarks of quality spreadsheet. So once you have the spreadsheet and you open it, what you'll see is you have several different tabs at the bottom. The first one is the instruction tab. And on the instruction tabs, you have my name and my email in case you need to contact me for any issues that you might be having with the spreadsheet or any questions that you might have. It also has the link to this data entry tutorial so that you can access that quickly. And then it also has some brief instructions on where you're entering your data. The next tab is the data entry tab. And in the data entry tab, what you'll do is up at the top, you'll enter your community team members. You'll enter their names. So you actually have these two rows to enter names. So you can enter here and then you can enter here. And then you have the location, which you would just enter on this line. The next thing that you would do is that you would enter the date and then all of your scores for each of those indicators. And so each one of these columns is 1 point in time. So you have six points in time that you can add into this spreadsheet. And so what you'll do is you'll just enter the date and then you'll go down each indicator and you will type in your score, whether it's not in place 0, need improvement is 1, and 2 is that it's in place. So you just go straight down and you enter all of that data. And then once you're done, now you're able to see the graphs. So the first tab is the program summary tab, and this shows you a couple different things. So at the very top you have a chart that shows you the percent of indicators that are in place. And so you have bar chart here. So the first point in time is 4.7, and then the red is the percent of indicators not in place. And if you hover over that, you'll see that that's 71%, and that's also here in the table. And then the blue is the percent of indicators that need improvement, and you'll see that that's 22%. And then the green is the percent of indicators in place, and you'll see that that's 2%. Then you have your second point in time that is right next to it. And so you'll see, the red, more of those indicators seem to be getting into that next category or and so on. And so you'll see that here in the bar chart and you'll see that here in the table. Now, the way that this is set up is so that it graphs everything. But if you don't want to have that empty space, that's no problem. Just go ahead and click on this chart here. You'll see this little filter icon, you'll click on that, and then here it shows you all of the different points in time. And so if we only want to show these two, then we can just unselect these other 3 empty dates, click apply, and then now it'll adjust itself. And if we only wanted to see one of those dates, you can click apply, and it'll only show you that one day. So that is how you kind of clean that up. In case you want to show just that one point in time. And as you saw, I clicked on these, but I didn't hit apply. So you want to make sure that whatever change you make here, you hit apply so that it makes that change on the actual chart. Below that, what you have is this area here. So each one of these is 1 point in time. So this is for the 7th. What it'll show you is here all of the critical elements. And then it shows you the number of indicators for that element that are not in place. So here we know that for community leadership, team membership, and teaming, 5 of those indicators are not in place. 3 of them need improvement, and none of them are in place. And then over here to the right, it actually shows you the number of the indicator. So if we go across, because you're likely asking yourself, oh, what are the 5 that are not in place? Well, it's number 1, item number 1, number 2, number 3, number 6, and number 7. And so now you can go back onto your paper form or to your data entry tab and say, well, okay, well, what's item number 7? You can come here and look. This is number 7 right here. So that's what these numbers are here. And then the next one, funding, you'll see that there's 2 indicators that are not in place. 1 that needs improvement and 1 that's in place. And so the 2 that are not in place are number 10 and number 12. And so it does that for each one of the elements. And then as I scroll down, then you can see okay, well, this is my second point in time, October 7th, and it looks like we moved in community leadership, team membership, and teaming, and we also moved in funding. We also moved in communication and visibility, because you can see, visually, you can tell by the red, and you can also tell by the this little table here that shows you that there are less of those indicators that are not in place. This is the default view, so we don't have a third data point. So it's just going to read 0, and it's going to show you all of those benchmarks. And so it'll do that for each one of those points in time. Then your last tab is a graph tab. And then on the graph tab, the only thing that you need to do here is if you enter new data, is every time that you enter new data or you change data, you need to come here and refresh. And there's a note here to tell you to refresh your data. And so what you can do is just click on this chart, because the first time you enter data, you're going to come over here and it's going to be completely blank. And you're going to wonder, well, I entered the data, my program summary tab is showing me something, but this is completely blank. And it's because you need to refresh it first. So you can click on the chart, you'll see a new set of tabs appear. So I'm going to click off and you'll see there's nothing here. And as soon as I click on it, these new tabs appear. So you'll go to Pivot Chart Analyze, you'll go to Refresh, and you can just go down and hit Refresh All, and that refreshes everything, and then your chart should now show you your data. You can also just go up to Data without clicking anywhere. You just go up to Data, and you can click on that Refresh All, and that will also work. So here, whatever you typed in that BOQ Data Entry tab, so right up here, where you wrote in the member names, that's going to transfer automatically over here. So you don't have to type in anything here. It'll just transfer over. And then whatever you typed in that location will show up here as well. Then we have our chart, right? And so I have my 2 points in time. And you also have this little thing here called a slicer. And the slicer is a filter. Basically, lets you look at the filter the data however you want to. The default view, when I clear all filters, is like this. So it's going to have this one blank and then my 2 points in time or 3 points in time, whatever it might be, but you'll always have this blank one here. And so this blank one is not important because there's no data there. And so what you can do is you can click on this here. You see it's a multi-select. Click on it, and now you can click this blank one to deselect it. So now it's showing me my 2 points in time. Now this is a chart that I can copy and paste into a presentation or a Word document or whatever it is that I need. So again, you would just go click on this multi-select and then click on that blank to remove it from the chart. So let's say here I only want to see this April 7th date. Then I will click on that October 7th date to deselect it so that it only shows me the April 7th date. And then if I want to actually add it back, I can just click on it and it'll show me those 2 points in time. Then the next thing you have, if you scroll down, is then now it shows you your dates. It shows you the average across all of those indicators for that critical element. So here you'll see that that's 0.38 for here, so that's across. And remember that the scale is 0 to 2, so you'll see that you're kind of there. You're maybe halfway there. It's really hard when you have these categories and you're trying to average here. But this kind of gives you an idea of across all of these elements kind of where you're at. And it also, if that is not as helpful to you, then you also have here the number. So across all of my critical elements, I have 29 items that are not in place, 9 that need improvement, and 1 that is in place. And so again, you're seeing this in different places in different ways. So here, again, average across how many of those elements, which is then a summary. This is more of a summary of what you're seeing over here individually by critical element. So this should add up to 29. This should add up to 9, and then the 1 that's in place. So this gives you that overview of of all of those elements and all of those items, and then this kind of breaks it down then by the actual critical elements. So that's pretty much it as far as the spreadsheet and what it provides for you. If you have, if you get to the point where you need more dates, please feel free to email me. Again, my information is here in the instructions tab, and you can email me and let me know what it is that you need, and then I can definitely help you with that. If you're having any other issues with the spreadsheet, that it's not functioning or it's not refreshing or anything like that, feel free again to email me, and I'll be happy to help.